From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
This weekend was I'm a Tar Heel weekend, and events were running at every single venue on campus. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Isabella Geskos.
And I'm Jasmine Baker. Thanks for joining us. On Saturday, UNC football held their highly anticipated spring game, which was free for all to attend. The game gave fans a sneak peek of what to expect this season. With the starters not playing for long, the transfer wide receivers Tez Walker and Nate Walker stole the show, showcasing their skills and scoring the only 2 touchdowns of the game. Fans were thrilled to see what the duo has to offer this season and how they'll contribute to the team's success alongside quarterback Drake May. Tez Walker shares how Drake recruited him and what went into his decision to pick Carolina.
Me personally, it wasn't much in that with me. Like, once I got the call from Carolina, I already knew where I wanted to go. So it wasn't really much he could say to me. I already knew I wanted to come here.
After a long semester of classes, UNC students took out some of their aggression with a football at Campus Rec's intramural punt, pass, and kick competition.
The rules are simple: punt, pass, and kick. Inside the Bill Coleman Indoor Practice Facility, Campus Recreation hosted its annual punt, pass, and kick competition in partnership with the Rams Club and Carolina Fever. The score on each leg of the competition is measured by length and accuracy, with the 2 top scorers earning bragging rights and an intramural championship t-shirt. Competitors were also able to enter their name in a raffle for prizes such as gift cards to Top of the Hill and Crumble Cookies, and even a Mac Brown signed football. While the competition was fierce, organizers and attendees alike enjoyed being able to compete and socialize with their friends in the indoor practice facility.
I know this isn't really a place that a lot of students get to come and experience much because we're kind of locked down with different sports and everything, but it's fun to be out here.
With 3 different stations, the action was non-stop, with punt and pass going on inside and the kicking competition taking place on the outdoor turf field. Even after missing her last field goal attempt, senior Katie Boyer thanked Campus Rec for a great atmosphere for the event.
Everybody was super supportive of each other. It didn't really feel like a competition. It felt like we were all working together, so it was a really positive experience.
I'm Colin Tatlock reporting.
Winners of the competition have yet to be announced, but will be posted to the Campus Rec website once all points are totaled.
On Saturday, the women's lacrosse team hosted the number 1 seeded Syracuse Orange on Dorrance Field. This game was a back-and-forth battle between the top 5 teams. Syracuse took a lead first quarter, but the Tar Heels fought back, like with this electric unassisted crease roll by Caroline Gooding. It was a full team effort as Alyssa Long recorded a career high in draw controls, and the defense worked the ball up to the offense, as Long carried the ball up the length of the field before dishing it to Caitlin Wurzberger for an easy goal. Nicole Humphrey was also a scoring threat for the Heels as she tallied a hat trick on senior day. The Syracuse sisters, Emma and Megan Tyrell, were involved in almost every goal for the Orange. Syracuse pulled ahead by 2 in the fourth quarter, and the Heels just could not hang on. This 14-12 loss ended the Heels' winning streak at home and was many of the seniors' first loss at Dorrance Field in their 4-year careers.
I think just the freshman underclassmen, seeing that we could compete against this team and we could have won this game, is so great going into postseason. I think it just was a huge confidence boost for everyone, and I think that is so huge going forward.
With more on the loss from the number 1 team, here is women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa. Caroline?
Jasmine, this anticipated matchup definitely didn't end up how the Tar Heels wanted it to, but what I saw was a team that wants it. This was a tough loss. UNC was in it the whole game and never gave up, and that was really the theme. Many players on Syracuse played their best game this season. Unfortunately, it was on Dorrance Field in Chapel Hill. Goalies for Syracuse, Delaney Schweitzer, was absolutely on fire. She had 15 saves to Alicia Nicholas's 5. This pass I'm about to show you from Marissa White to Riley Casey needed to go in. She had 7 shots and 2 goals. We needed Casey to have 3 to 4 goals to keep UNC in, but Schweitzer robbed this shot from behind the back. Usually Riley Casey can just pull it off, but not this time. Another big-time scorer for UNC is Caroline Godin, and here Schweitzer took another opportunity away from UNC to give them the lead. Two of the leading goal scorers for Carolina is Casey and Godin, and they had a combined of 15 shots with only 4 goals. Schweitzer's 11 saves for the two of them won Syracuse that game without a doubt. So another thing that's definitely not a shock was another great game from Syracuse's Tyrell sisters. I talked on Friday about the threat that is Megan Tyrell, but Emma, her sister, through the double team, put Syracuse up by 1 with under 6 minutes to go. Take a look at that. And finally, what did I say on Friday? No one can be left open, especially with under 4 minutes left with a tie game. UNC looks so upset because they see Megan Carney run through from the 12 just for the goal. And that gave them the lead, and it was lights out from there.
Caroline, what can you expect from the defending national champions? How can they make it to Cary in late May?
Well, Jasmine, after the Syracuse game, and this being Carolina's 3rd loss, it's safe to say that this season is definitely different than last. But everyone knew that with a young team. So you can't have 2 undefeated seasons in a row after losing every single one of your top scorers. So with that being said, if you have followed this season, it's clear to see this potential from this team, and Jenny Levy knows that. She actually said to one of our reporters yesterday, her younger players need to work on levels to outscore and not glorify players like Schweitzer. You can't fake high and shoot high on a tall goalie, which is what went wrong with some of the newer faces. We're just going to have to buckle up and trust Caitlin Wurzberger and Riley Casey to lead this team in the postseason.
Thanks, Caroline.
On Saturday, the men's lacrosse team traveled up to Maryland to take on the Syracuse Orange. This game was an offensive onslaught with both teams tallying 3 goals each in the first quarter. The Tar Heels emerged with a 2-goal lead heading into the half, but Syracuse came out blazing heading into the third period. Henry Schertzinger stopped Syracuse's run with his 2nd goal of the day, and 5 other Tar Heels scored multiple times. Syracuse surged ahead, going 4-1 in the fourth quarter, but the Heels tied the game back up with 3 minutes left. With 12 seconds on the clock, Syracuse's freshman midfielder Michael Leo found the back of the cage and sent Carolina home with a 15-14 loss. With UNC now being on the bubble for the tournament, they have to travel to South Bend this weekend to take on the #1 ranked Fighting Irish. For an update with the transfer deadline portal slowly approaching, let's take a look ahead at the transfers UNC has already landed for next season. Here's men's basketball analyst and possible new men's basketball biscuit boy, Riley Kennedy. Riley?
Well, Coach Davis, I do have eligibility left, so call me. But Bella, Coach Hubert Davis, he's landed 2 commits in the transfer portal for next season. Let's take a look. Paxton Wojcik, he's from Brown. He already has experience playing in the Smith Center. The 6'5", 200-pound guard averaged just under 15 points per game and 7 rebounds. As for what to expect, you can expect a lot of threes. He shot just under 40% from last season. He's a guy that loves to get to a spot and pull up. Wojcik is not afraid to shoot in transition, especially with the defense trying to get in. Now, Jalen Withers from Louisville, he's another guy. He has experience in the Smith Center. The 6'9", 220-pound power forward averaged right under 9 points per game and over 5 rebounds per game. The Charlotte native shot a team best 41.7% from 3 last season. Withers is a mismatch, right? Because of his frame. He draws a lot of guards. That's how Louisville played last season. He's a big stretch factor for UNC with his ability to shoot from 3. He hangs out right around the perimeter and will make defenses pay when they sink in. Now, UNC is getting 2 guys that can add immediate impact on the court beyond the 3-point line. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Riley. Let's hope these guys can turn around the season and make another tournament next year. Sports Extra's very own Caroline Yaffa, Daniel Masterson, and Aman Patel did their very own version of Jay Billis's 94 feet, but with someone who is very special to UNC's heart, Ramses. Julian Cave is a graduating senior who has been in the suit for 4 years. Here's his story.
So, Julian, when did you decide to become Ramses?
There was a tryout in my first semester in the fall. Tried out twice and heard back in October of my freshman year.
So, what was that feeling like? Were you so excited?
It was definitely a special feeling. It was something that I thought I wanted to do, and I thought I'd just try it out, and it ended up working out.
So, what's your favorite memory of you putting on the suit and wearing it during a game?
Game-wise, I had an awesome experience at this year's Duke game. there's nothing like that atmosphere. But actually not in suit. I got to do a commercial with Coach Williams, which was great, putting him in suit.
Wait, that's so awesome. So what's something we don't know about Ramses that you got to tell us?
Oh, goodness. We try and get every picture. It might not work out every time, but we try. Absolutely.
So what's it like putting on the suit? Does it smell? How hot is it?
That's a question I get all the time. Is it hot in there? It is hot. It can be smelly, and you only have 4 fingers.
What's it like that everyone now knows that you're Ramses, being a senior about to graduate?
It's been very special. The kind words, just the people reaching out, and everyone kind of like, that was you this whole time. It's been special. And just the amount of love I've received has been phenomenal.
That's awesome. So there you guys have it. Julian Cave, Ramses about to graduate. And thank you guys so much for joining us. This is Caroline Yaffa from the Dean Dome.
Man, I want to be in that suit so bad, but I heard I missed tryouts. I bet Julian will pick a great successor that will definitely be better than I would be.
Coming off a heartbreaking loss to Miami on Thursday, the number 13 Diamond Heels look to bounce back at the Bosch in the final 2 games of the series. On Friday, Carolina was down big, but a 4-run 6th inning capped by this Mac Horvath RBI double gave the Heels the lead, 7-6. Miami evened the game at 7 in the next inning on a sac fly. And just as things were heating up, rain suspended play. They resumed play the next day, taking place before the start of Game 3. The restart went into extra innings before Dominic Patelli launched a solo shot to the top of the 10th to give Miami a 1-run lead. With 2 outs and a full count, Casey Cook kept Carolina alive with a solo home run to right center off All-American closer Andrew Walters. And the next inning, Hunter Stokely completed the Heels' largest comeback since 2007 with a no-doubter to walk it off. Carolina took the dub 9-8. The Diamond Heels were back in action an hour later. The Heels scored the first run of the game where Johnny Casanagi hit a RBI to bring it Thomas Frick. The Heels had opportunities to score, but left the bases loaded 2 separate times without scoring any runs. In the 6th inning, Frick made it a 1-run game, an RBI single to bring in Casey Cook and Jackson Vanderbrake. But the Heels lost 4-3. They face Charlotte on Tuesday at Boschmer Stadium.
Jasmine's UNC's offense is in a slump right now with our 2 best hitters, Mac Horvath and Vance Honeycutt, struggling.
You know, that's definitely a point of concern, seeing how we were left hitless in the final 3 innings of Game 3. But not only that, the Carolina bullpen has also been falling short, especially in that Miami last game. The Heels need a solid closer so they can finish out these close games.
Let's hope they can get a bounce-back win against Charlotte before heading into another ACC series against Boston College this weekend. After Friday's game versus Syracuse got canceled for the UNC softball team, all eyes moved up to Saturday's matchup. In Game 2 of the doubleheader, the Orange got the scoring started with this 1-out grounder to second. The Tar Heels answered in the third, scoring 4 runs, including a 2-run double by Abby Settlemeyer. UNC entered the 7th up 2, but this 2-out error by Kiana Jones extended the game. Madison Knight capitalized, smashing this 3-run shot over right field's wall for a late lead. Syracuse struck out the side in the bottom of the frame, and UNC dropped a heartbreaker, 5-4. On Sunday, Kirsten Liesa kicked off a scoring streak with a home run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. In the 3rd, Carolina put up a run before the play was reviewed and declared a foul ball. But that mishap did not dishearten UNC, though, as Carolina scored twice in the 4th inning to make it 3-0. In the 5th, the Heels continued their scoring streak. And in the 6th, a Bree Stubbs RBI kept hopes high. Then an Abby Settlemeyer RBI for Alex Brown settled the score at 6-0. The final was called at the top of the 7th, and the Heels celebrated a win in their final home conference series of the season.
This weekend, the UNC women's golf team traveled to Greensboro for the ACC championships. On Friday, junior Krista Elikawi made 2 eagles 5 holes apart for a score of 6 under 66, a career best. This score also ties the lowest round by a Tar Heel in ACC championship. The Tar Heels placed 9th, tying with Notre Dame at 30 over. On the men's side, the number 2 ranked Heels traveled to Phoenix for the Thunderbird Collegiate. Sophomore David Ford was a low finisher for the Tar Heels, tying for 7th and shooting 6 under 207 for the weekend. Behind him was senior Dylan Minate, tying for 12th at 4 under 209. The Tar Heels placed 3rd with a final score of 20 under.
Despite some weather brewing, the only storm that took place was in Friday's dominant women's tennis match against Duke. The number 4 ranked dynamic duo of Carson Tangleague and Fiona Crawley were dominant against number 48 ranked Chloe Beck and Cameron Mora. In the next doubles match, Reese Brantmeyer and Riley Tran delivered unreturnable serves to secure the doubles point. In singles, Brantmeyer took on former Tar Heel Mora and made her regret ever leaving the Heels. It came down to Tran's match, but she pulled ahead, grabbing the final point to give the Tar Heels a win overall 4-1.
You said there's 3 phases of the season: indoor, and then there's regular season, and then postseason. So, we're this was a good step up. I mean, we're confident, we're playing well, and I think we're ready to take on anybody's best shot, and hopefully we can do that in the postseason.
For a look ahead to this week's ACC tournament, let's turn to our tennis analyst, who also has a very mean serve, Kyle Lobenhofer. Kyle?
Well, I'm not sure about that mean serve, but this season I've talked about Fiona Crawley, I've talked about the doubles duo of Elizabeth Scotty and Reese Brantmeyer, and I've talked about how absolutely stacked this UNC roster is. But what I haven't talked about, and what I need to talk about, is Carson Tangelig. Carson is ranked 16th nationally, UNC's second highest team member, and she's only a sophomore. However, she isn't the flashiest player. She simply handles her opponents quickly and quietly, and then enjoys watching and cheering them on for the rest of the match. Let's take a look at how methodical Carson is when she's on the court. Against NC State last week, she won her match 6-2 and 6-2. She let her opponent only win 4 games. And it's very easy to see why after seeing this. Here she serves, and it's not a very powerful or fast serve because it was her second serve, which means her opponent is very easily able to get it back over the net without any issues. But this is where her opponent makes a very crucial error. She runs to the middle of the court in order to be in the best position to make a play on the ball no matter which direction Carson decides to hit it. But she doesn't quite make it back to the center. See how she's a little off from center here? Well, Carson recognizes that and sees that as a golden opportunity. She rips a forehand down the line way too far to her opponent's right-hand side and out of her reach. And you simply can't do it any better. Going into the ACC tournament this week, that tennis IQ is going to be on full display, as Carolina hopes to take back the title of ACC champions after losing their 5-year streak last season. Bella?
Kyle, how are you feeling going into the tournament this weekend?
I am very confident in this team. After completing their undefeated regular season against Duke this weekend, Carolina is going to have a bye until the quarterfinal round on Friday, so we will have to wait and see who their opponent will be in Cary that day.
Okay, Kyle, let's go back for a second. What do you mean you don't know about your mean serve?
My serve is at best maybe 20, possibly 30 miles an hour and is wildly inconsistent. I could be serving into the other box every single time. The team behind me, specifically Carson, is ripping serves, absolute lasers into the box and corner placements down the tee right where they want it every single time. I'm just nowhere close to that level.
Okay, thank you, Carson. And Kyle.
After an hour and 40-minute rain delay, the UNC men's tennis team took on the Florida State Seminoles inside Cone Kempfield on Friday. Tar Heels took the doubles point with wins by Ryan Stegerman and Casey Kanya, as well as Carl Poling and Will Jansen. Jansen and Poling breezed through their singles matches. Poling clinches match 6-4 with a powerful shot followed by a short return. Clinching the match for the Tar Heels was Stegerman with a drop shot for the win. The Tar Heels defeated the Seminoles 4-1. Sunday was senior day, and the Heels had to make every match count. After UNC won the doubles point, they struggled to keep the lead in the single matches. Brian Cernock and Chris Lee fell to their opponents early on. Momentum started to shift as Stegerman won the second point for the Tar Heels with this serve in the final set. Carl Poling soon followed. Jansen, the Frenchman from United Kingdom, won it all in his third set against Miami with this well-fought rally. After the match, Jansen reflected on how the seniors have affected the team.
Guys, they've put in so much hard work the last 4 or 5 years to up this program. They've been absolute legends. They're like my brothers, and I'm really going to miss them.
Close calls at the plate, snipes, and dingers all were on display this weekend, and making our decision for our top 2 plays was extremely difficult, Jasmine.
Vance Honeycutt won it last week, so we'll see if one of his Diamond Heels teammates can retain the title. Leading off is Dewey Egan with this wraparound goal to tie Syracuse in Saturday's matchup. Not only did he go opposite pipe with the shot, but laid out a Syracuse defender on the finish.
Against Dewey Egan's insane goal is this walk-off home run from Hunter Stokely to even the weekend series at the end of Game 2. Our very own Landon Elliott will be proud because Stokely got that one right off the barrel of the bat.
You know, the Diamond Heels are becoming regulars on the Sports Extra Play of the Week, and it's deserved. That was huge for Stokely and needed for the Heels record.
Jasmine, these are two outstanding plays. I don't know which one I think is more impressive. While Egan's was cool, it would have been cooler if they won.
I can't say that you're wrong there, but hey, at least plays like this make it exciting.
And on Saturday, what was even more exciting was the line down the Dean Dome for the annual yard sale. Emma Hall was there for the story.
If you pulled up to the Dean E. Smith Center around 7:30 Saturday morning, you'd see people waiting and waiting and waiting. Long lines outside the Dean Dome usually signify an important basketball game. However, on this overcast morning, it was for the Tar Heel yard sale. The athletics department partnered with the state to host its second ever yard sale, marketing UNC equipment at bargain prices, including pairs of Jordans for only $100 each. Although the line was supposed to start forming at 6 a.m., many customers arrived before then.
We got in the parking lot at like 2:30.
Like 5:45.
There were many people who traveled across county and state lines to be there.
It's on the coast, so it's a couple of hundred, about 160 miles.
No, we're from Virginia.
Clint Gwaltney, the Senior Associate Athletics Director for Operations, explained how the process of the yard sale worked.
Once you're admitted into the building, you get a blue bag. You're able to go around, find things that you want, put them in your bag. When you come to the checkout, we have 10 points of sale. We have talliers, and then people that take payment.
The department didn't hold back anything for this sale.
We've got everything. We've got everything from shoes, to pictures, to pants, shirts, tops. We even have wrestling singlets. We have socks. We have everything known to man.
Everyone who stepped out of the Dean Dome Saturday morning seemed pretty satisfied with their purchases. I'm Emma Hall reporting.
So Jasmine, how early did you get up to go to the yard sale?
Unfortunately, I didn't make it, but I know some people in the control room did. You know, getting there before sunrise just was not for me, but I'm impressed by their dedication.
Okay, so dedication is kind of an understatement because some people back there slept in the business school and then stood in line for 2, 3, 4 hours to get their hands on some discounted apparel.
Well, I really hope it was worth it. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Make sure to vote for your favorite play of the week and tune in on Friday for the results along with a preview of the upcoming weekend for the Tar Heels.